So, stat 8.1.2 Bernoulli probability day 2. So basically we are talking about problems that are similar to when we had tree diagrams where it was like success, fail, success, fail, success, fail. Bernoulli is the name of the mathematician who created this. So, but I can keep going on, and we can do more and more branches. But that tree diagram stuff isn't as much fun after you go past 2, right? Once you go to 3 of them, it took too much of our page. What happens if I ask you about 6 times? Like if you flipped a coin 6 times, or you selected 8 students, or you took 10 free throws, that becomes a problem where we don't want to do tree diagrams. So the goal here is we're looking at some outcomes. So we're looking at specific.
Pardon interruptions. Right now we are on preventative safe mode. Remain in your classrooms. You are in the hallway, stairs, or in the hall, the nearest classroom. Do not leave the room until told so. Once again, we are in preventative safe mode.
Let's say we have like success, success, failure, success, failure, failure, success. Okay? Now, how many, in this problem, there's a couple of things. So this is a specific event, a specific outcome. 2 successes, a fail, a success, 2 failures, and then a success. In this problem, what is N? How many trials, how many outcomes were there in this example right here? How many? Huh? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we say N is 7 in this example. Okay? How many successes were there? 1, 2, 3, and 4 total successes. So we say K is 4. Now something else that I didn't note it, that I did last time, the probability of success, we use a lowercase p. The probability of failure, we use 1 minus p. Shh, you need to focus, gentlemen. Come on. Okay? So, this probability has how many successes?
4.
And how many failures are there? 3. Now notice there are N minus K would be 3. If we added the number of successes and failures, you always, if you put these together, they have to add up to 7 because there were 7 times, right? 7 things. So the probability of success, success, failure, success, failure, failure, success, this is kind of what the formula that we wrote is P, the probability of a success, to how the number of successes, in this case, which would be 4 times 1 minus P to the number of failures, N minus K. So for example, let's say P in this problem is 0.7. Okay, so let's do P is 0.7. If I were to fill in these numbers, I would get 0.7 raised to the, how many successes?
4.
Times 1 minus 0.7 raised to the,
4.
no, not 4.
3.
How many failures? It'd be 3. And this would be the answer. Now, somebody asks, Annalise asks, why 1 minus 0.7? Because we know that if we know the probability of success is 0.7, what must the failure be? Shh. Currents. They have to add up to 1. So that'd be 0.3. Okay? So the reason why there was 3 in this one is because there were 4, is because there was 4 successes and there was therefore 3 failures. And I substitute this formula, and this is the formula we get right in here. Okay? So that's the formula I gave you. 3 more things, and then we're done with what I'm going to have up here. What happens if we still have P is 0.7 and N is 7? So here's an example, and I tell you, what is the probability that they are all successes? Okay, so if they're all successes, how many successes are there? 4. No. If they're all successes, how many? There'd be 7, right? So K would be 7. All of them would be successes, yes? So the probability of all success would be what? What's the probability of success? 0.7 raised to the number of successes, which is 7. Now, why do I not need the 1 minus P here?
They're all successes.
Because they're all successes and there's no failure. So that is my whole answer. If they were all successes, it's just the probability of a success raised to that many times. Make sense? What about the probability if they were all failures? Let's A. Let's get this B. All failures. Okay? If they were all failures, then the probability of all failures would equal what? There's no successes, so we don't need the first part. So this formula has basically 2 parts. We have the successes part, and we have the failures portion. So notice that this previous example only had the successes. It did not have the failures, because there were all successes and no failures. This one has all failures and no successes. So what's the probability of a failure? 1 minus 0.7 raised to the power of 7. Because they're all failures. Failure. Now,
Pardon the interruption. You can now resume your regular day. We are out of preventative state mode. Once again, we are out of preventative state mode.
So there's 3 types of problems so far that you should be able to do, and there's going to be one more. First off, I give you the specific outcome. Now, this is the one. If you look at yesterday's amplifies, these are the ones where you're using both the whole formula like this. Okay? The other problem is what happens when it's all successes or all failures. The formula still works, but the number on the power exponent would be 0. So, because if there's no failures, you would just do 1 minus 0.7 to the 0. So there's no reason to write it, right? For the failures. Well, it's P, the probability of success, to the number of successes, times the probability of failure, which is 1 minus P.
I know, but since they all have to add up to 1, you always have to put 1.
Some people will just write 0.3. So some people will just write 0.3 here and just do the math in their head. So instead of writing on the paper 1 minus 0.7, some of you are just going to write 0.3. Because if this one's 0.7, you know the other one is 0.3. Perfectly fine. Last type of problem, and this was the tricky one that we did at the end. What if the at least one success? Okay. Now, going back to the tree diagram, so there are 2 things that can happen. They can be all failures, or they can have at least one success. Okay? So you can get all failures or at least one success. So if the question says, once again, Here's the example. N was 7, P was 0.7. And I said, what is the probability of at least one success? The answer is 1 minus all failures. 1 minus all failures. And what's the probability of all failures? 1 minus 0.7 to the 7th. The previous, whatever you got as your previous answer. So if you want to find the probability of at least one success, find the probability of all failures. Okay? Find the probability of all failures, 1 minus that. Okay? So this is going to be 1 minus P to the N. And this is 1 minus P to the N. This is how you find the probability if they were all failures. 1 minus that is your answer. And I know it's weird, like why is it 1 minus 1 minus? The first, this inside 1 minus is because the all failures. This part right here is all failures. And 1 minus that gives you at least 1. So in today's Amplify that I'm about to open up right now, this is the formula you want to use. All right? In yesterday's Amplifies was, you make sure you're trying to do that. I would suggest if you were not here and you didn't do yesterday's or Monday's Amplify, please do Monday's Amplify first, then do today's Amplify. Okay? Once you've done those two things, work on the homework. That's everything you need to know. If you missed Monday, the paper handout that I gave on Monday, I have more copies for you that weren't here on Monday or lost it. So, first off, you have both Amplifies done. Monday's Amplify, today's Amplify. I'm going to open up them all right now. I'm opening them up right now. Once you have done those two things, then you move to the homework. All right? Once you've done those two things, then you have it. I'm going to hand out the homework because I already handed it out, but I will not help you on your homework until you have done your two Amplifies. All right? You're doing 8.11 and 8.13. Those are where the Amplifies are in. Complete both of those and then do the homework if you haven't already done it. That's what I have for you today.